Welcome back. So since it stopped snowing here near Buffalo, New York, no more state of emergency for a week straight, and the snow is almost gone off the ground, I can finally do this review. This is the Nitecore EDC33. Let's check it out. And let me just start out by saying that the Nitecore EDC33 is just so close to being the perfect everyday carry flashlight for me personally. There's so much I love about this flashlight, and there's a couple things that need improvement. So what exactly is the EDC33 from Nitecore? Well, it's mainly an everyday carry flashlight with some tactical features. And we'll get into those tactical features a little bit later on in this video. And this thing is an absolute monster. 4,000 total lumens in this small body, but I should say that yes, it is capable of 4,000 lumens, but I wouldn't really consider this a 4,000 lumen flashlight. This is technically a 1,200 lumen flashlight with a 4,000 lumen burst because it can actually sustain a brightness level of 1,200 lumens for a decent amount of time. The 4,000 lumens is just a burst mode, and that 4,000 lumen burst mode I'm referring to is something Nitecore calls Lumen Shield. Lumen Shield is a temporary burst of that 4,000 lumens by fully pressing that tail switch down. And Nitecore is intending that to be their self-defense mode, hence the name Lumen Shield. And that is one of the tactical style features I was just referring to. So if you think the Nitecore EDC33 can sustain a 4,000 lumen turbo mode in this tiny little body, it just can't happen. This thing is just too small, and 4,000 lumens makes this flashlight very hot. As great as LED technology is right now, it's not that great yet. And honestly, I don't think LED technology is ever going to be there. It's going to be something else to actually give us a sustainable 4,000 lumens in a body this size with virtually no heat. I'll save that conversation for another video, but let me give you guys a nice close-up of the EDC33 here. Very nice machined aluminum alloy body. A Type 3 hard anodized finish. It looks nice. But basically everything Nitecore releases has this same nice high quality look to it. So let's quickly talk about some of the features here. So as I already mentioned, it has a maximum output of 4,000 lumens. And that 4,000 lumen burst mode has a throw of 400 meters and is basically a flood mode. It also has a search mode, which is basically a spotlight of 1,700 lumens and a maximum throw of 450 meters. So the 4,000 lumen floodlight mode has a max intensity of 40,505 candela, and the 1,700 lumen searchlight mode has a max intensity of 54,500 candela. And with the floodlight and searchlight, it also has 4 cyclable brightness levels: ultra low, low, mid, and high, and everything is controlled with a single tail switch back here. And that tail switch, it's a rubberized tail switch, has some nice texturing on it. Feels nice. And even though the EDC33 has a tail switch right there, you can see it's virtually flat right there thanks to these little tabs that stick up on the tail. So yes, you can tail stand it, which is always a huge plus in my book. Next, it has a maximum runtime of 63 hours on that ultra low setting because that ultra low is only 5 lumens. I would love to see a 1 lumen moonlight mode, but I'll take a 5 lumen ultra low. It's not terrible, but a 63-hour runtime on ultra low is decent. So what's the battery inside? It's a 4,000 milliamp hour 18650 lithium ion battery, but it is built in. And yes, you guessed it, that is one of my complaints. I basically complain about the built-in battery on almost every single Nitecore flashlight that I own. But let me just say this, if you're only using the EDC33 for everyday carry, I don't think the built-in battery is going to be a huge problem. You should have enough juice in this battery to get you through the day just for an everyday carry flashlight. Where you will start seeing problems is if you go camping with this, if you take this out into the field, if you work overnights at a security job and take this flashlight, then I can start seeing some issues. Because once this runs out of juice, you can't just pop in another battery. You have to plug it in and wait a while for it to charge up. And while it's charging, the EDC33 is just a $70 paperweight. So if you want to use it for those purposes, I would say steer clear of the EDC33. If you're buying it strictly as an everyday carry flashlight, it should be okay. But I am still leaving that in my negatives category because it's a negative. So how is that 4,000 milliamp hour 18650 charged? Right here at the tail, there is a rotatable ring. So you can see there's a little arrow right there pointing this way. So as you turn it, there's your USB Type-C charging port. Just by having this rotatable ring for your charging port, it'll block any dirt, dust, any mud from getting in to that USB Type-C charging port. So I think this is a fantastic feature. Plus, Nitecore didn't put the LED status light indicators, the battery life indicators underneath that ring. They put those lights right there. So the battery life indicators are indicated by 4 LEDs right there, and each LED is basically 25%. So the first one is 0 to 25, the second one is 25 to 50, and so on and so forth. Once again, they are boot up battery life indicators, but once the flashlight is on, those lights stay on. They won't go out until you turn off the flashlight. So now let's talk about this emitter right here. This is a 9-core Nightlab UHI 20 Max LED that has 1 main core right dead center and 8 auxiliary cores that circle that main emitter. And those 9 cores make up a single LED. The main core dead center is mainly responsible for the spotlight, and those 8 auxiliary cores are mainly responsible for your flood. And the EDC33 is the debut of this 9-core Nightlab UHI 20 Max. It's just a cool emitter, which also makes the EDC33 very versatile in my opinion, because it has both spot and a flood in the same emitter. And the color temperature in the beam is a cool white. You can see it's between a 6,000 and 6,500 Kelvin. And another really cool feature of the EDC33 is this toggle lock switch right here, which I think is fantastic. If you want to lock out this flashlight, there's no button presses, no twisting of the tail cap. It's literally just, that's it. Super quick, super easy. And yes, this does have 2 lockout modes, a half lockout and a full lockout. If you want the half lockout, technically you do have to do a button press combination with this toggle switch, but a full lockout is literally just pushing that up and seeing that lock right there. So that's just a smart design choice by Nitecore. There's actually a lot going on at the tail here with this rotating dial right here for the USB Type-C charging port, the toggle switch to lock out the flashlight, the tail switch in the back, the button that controls the entire flashlight. A lot going on here at the tail switch. Oh, and it does have a pocket clip. It is a split ring pocket clip that is removable. It is a lens down only pocket clip that's not necessarily deep carry. You can see about 3/4 of an inch is going to stick up above your pocket. And there's a couple holes right there on the pocket clip for a lanyard. Oh, and the last thing before we talk about the Lumens and Runtime is it does have a proximity sensor. You can see it right there in the reflector. Hopefully you can see it. There's a little cutout right on that side right there. Now let's give it a quick measure from tail to head. It is 4.57 inches. You can see right there, it just moved a little bit when I took it off, but in millimeters, it is 116.3 millimeters. The total head diameter is exactly 1 inch, and in millimeters, that is going to be 25.4 millimeters. Now let's give it a quick weigh. Gonna weigh it with the pocket clip on it, didn't take it off. 4.5 ounces, and in grams, it's 128 grams. All right, I'll throw up a graph on the screen that shows the lumens and runtime information. Ultra low, low, mid, and high. Ultra low is 5 lumens, has that maximum runtime of 63 hours. Low is 70 lumens and has a max runtime of 31 hours. Mid is 300 lumens, has a max runtime of 6 hours and 58 minutes. And high is 1200 lumens, has a maximum runtime of 2 hours and 31 minutes. And I already discussed the Searchlight and Lumen Shield, 4,000 lumens with 400 meters of throw, 40,505 candela. And Searchlight is 1,700 lumens, 450 meters of throw, 54,500 candela. Also has a 2-meter impact resistance and an IP rating of IP68, which is fantastic. It's submersible in up to 6 feet of water and is completely dustproof. So I think the mode spacing here is decent. I think the 1200 lumen high is great. I would love to see a 1 lumen moonlight mode though. So going back to high, that 1200 lumens with a 208 meter throw, 10,500 candela, and can sustain 2 hours and 31 minutes. I think that's fantastic. Next, let's talk about the UI. To get to your 4 cyclable brightness levels, what you want to do is fully press down the tail switch and quickly let go. So there is, let me see where we are. There's ultra low, and what you want to do to switch the levels is half press. Ultra low, low, mid, and high. So these are the 4 cyclable brightness levels. And to reach searchlight mode, 1700 lumens, 450 meters of throw, half press and hold. There you go. There's the 1700 lumen searchlight mode. And to reach the lumen shield, which is 4000 lumens, 400 meters of throw, fully press and hold. And there is your 4000 lumens, which is just crazy bright. So let's talk about the lockout modes. To fully lock out the flashlight, make sure the flashlight is off and just toggle the switch until you can see that lock right there. Now we are fully locked out. No matter what you do with that button, doesn't turn on. But to get to the half lockout mode, which will give you the search and floodlight modes, what you want to do is unlock it, turn it on, so it's turned on right there, press and hold the tail switch and lock it out. Now what the half lockout does is give you the search and lumen shield, but doesn't turn on the flashlight at all. And to unlock the flashlight, all you have to do is just simply flip that switch back down. Now it's unlocked. All right, let's check out this beam here. So let's start on ultra low. I'm not going to stay here. That's 5 lumens. Let's go to low. We're already hitting that tree over there. And if you guys watched my videos before, you're going to see that the last storm knocked that tree over. You can kind of see it right there. It's just hanging there. Kind of sucks, but what are you going to do? And we are kissing that barn already, even on low. Very nice. So you can see that very crispy outer perimeter of that beam profile and very intense, tight hotspot, even on low. This is great. You're going to see why I say I like this light so much. So let's go to mid. So check that out. See, there was about 3 feet of snow here last week, and it's all gone because it rose to over 40 degrees. And all last week and 2 weeks ago, it was close to 0 with about 3 feet of snow on my driveway, which wasn't as bad as last year. We had about 5 to 6 feet in my driveway with that blizzard. I'll put up the distance between me and that barn right there, and then me and the tree on the screen. But check out that beam, guys. What do you think? I mean, if I just hold the camera still, you can see it's a fairly wide beam right here. I can see a lot. And I just like the beam profile here. I like how nice and even the spill is. And I like how intense that hot spot is right there. So that's mid. And that is high. 1200 lumens, 208 meters of throw, easily hitting that. Very, very nice. So now, let me show you guys what the searchlight mode looks like. 1700 lumens, 400 meters of throw. Let me just aim it over there. Half press, and you can see what that does. Just puts a lot of intensity on that center hotspot there. You can see what it does to the outside of that, the spill as well. There we go. Man, it gets hot. It gets very hot. You guys saw by that heat test how hot this light really gets. I mean, 177 degrees on that lumen shield is insane. But there's spot. Now let's go to full press. there is lumen shield. So that is the 4,000 lumens, 400 meters of throw, heating up very quickly in my hands. Let it go, do it again. You're only getting about 20 seconds on each of these modes. Wow, it is just so intense. So I let it go, tried it again. You only get a couple seconds, let it go, try it again. So the flashlight isn't going to give you a ton of time after it steps itself down. It's just protecting all the circuitry on the inside, which, yeah, I mean, this small body, 4,000 lumens, it just gets too hot. They are trying to pack a lot of lumens in this little body here. But what do you guys think of this? I think this is great. I think mid and high, this flashlight really shines. So let's go to another part of my lawn. Let's go. So the EDC33, I mean, I absolutely love this flashlight. I see where Nitecore was going with this, I really do. And I think overall, they've succeeded here. Other than those few negatives that I have, which I'll talk about in a little bit, this would have been the perfect everyday carry flashlight for me personally. The size of it is almost perfect for everyday carry. The 4 cyclable brightness levels, even though I wish there was a 1 lumen moonlight mode, I can live with that 5 lumens. The super quick, easy way you can toggle lockout, that's really important. You can tail stand it. And even though searchlight mode and that lumen shield mode, 4,000 lumens, is just a temporary 20-second burst, it's still really nice to be able to get that extremely intense burst out of this small little body. And yes, it does get hot, and that's definitely one of my negatives. This flashlight gets extremely hot. It's just trying to do too much in this tiny body, very much like the Nitecore EDC33 right here. 3,000 total lumens. This guy got hot as well. I reviewed this. If you guys want to see that review, I'll put that down below in my description box. But that's just the way it is. Nitecore is trying to push a flashlight that has 4,000 lumens in a tiny body. I mean, you have to expect, yeah, it's going to get hot. And no, it won't last past 20 seconds. That's why the 1,200 lumen high and that 300 lumen mid, you're going to spend most of your time in those 2 levels. I wish the color temperature was a bit warmer for my everyday carry flashlights. I like a cool temperature in my tack flashlights and a warmer neutral white in my EDC lights. But that's all well and good. The biggest negative here is always going to be that built-in battery. If you're carrying this for EDC, that built-in battery should be okay for you. But if you're using this at night, say for example, you're a security guard somewhere, if you're taking this camping or in the field with you, I wouldn't, because once the battery is done, the flashlight's done. So just keep that in mind if you're looking at this flashlight and you had those purposes in mind. But retail on this flashlight is under 70 bucks, $69.99, which I think is a fantastic price for this flashlight. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. What do you think of the Nitecore EDC33? If you want to check this out for yourself, I will put links down below in my description box. But if you did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe. And go!